That's right, you guys read the title right. Your next bike might require an oil change. And no, I'm not talking about a bike that has a combustion engine in it. I'm talking about your drivetrain. Let's dive into this awesome new revolutionary system made by Pinion, the Pinion Smart Shift. So we all know about standard drivetrains that we've seen on bikes for over the last 100 years. You've got single speed to multi-geared bikes. And whenever you get into the multi-geared bike, you start getting into things like shifters and rear derailleurs with cassettes or with freewheel. But with the Pinion Smart Shift system, you're getting away from the rear derailleur and also the rear cassette or freewheel. What this is going to allow you to do is simplify your drivetrain and make it almost completely weather resistant. This is a huge benefit if you do a lot of riding out in the wilderness, or if you're commuting, you have a lot of dirt and grime getting all over your drivetrain. You can use a belt system with this, which will provide you with upwards of 10 to 20,000 miles per belt. Not only that, all of your gears are going to be stored inside the Pinion Smart Shift box down on your bottom bracket. So this is going to give you a couple really cool features. One is that this is going to make the center of gravity on your bike even lower. With the Pinion system being so low, this should make your bike be even more maneuverable than it already is. Second is that this is completely sealed. You don't have to worry about dirt and grime getting in here, because inside the Pinion Smart Shift system is a set of gears that will allow you to shift up to 12 times, just like a standard drivetrain, with the convenient shifter located on your handlebars. The Pinion Smart Shift system actually uses electronic shifting instead of cable shifting. So this is going to provide you with a couple of advantages. One is that you're not going to have to worry about any kind of cable stretch whatsoever. Being that this is electronic shifting, there's only wires involved. There's not any shifting cables involved. And two, since this is electronic shifting, it can shift extremely fast. So fast that Pinion says that this happens in 0.2 of a second. And that brings us to the third reason why I think the Pinion system is absolutely awesome. And that's because you can shift this bike in so many different ways. One, you have that super fast 0.2 of a second shifting, but you also have the option to do automatic shifting. You can download their app, sync it up to the Pinion system, and then set it up to either be auto shifting, standard shifting, or auto downshifting. So whenever you come to a stop, this bike could shift down to an easier gear. That way it's easier for you to take off from the get-go. The automatic shifting will shift on the fly for you based off your pedal speed. And then you can just set it up like a regular bike and have traditional shifting where you control the up and the down. It's all up to you with the Pinion system. Now, the Pinion Smart Shift setup is actually available on all kinds of bikes. Now, one caveat is most of these bikes are going to be extremely expensive, coming in typically right around $3,000 to $8,000. This system has to have a frame specifically designed for it. You can't just pick up any bike and put this onto the bottom bracket of it. It's got to have a frame that the bottom bracket was specifically designed to install this Pinion Smart Shift system. Now, this particular bike right here is made by the company called Lectric, and this is their Lectric ONE, and it's the first bike that they've ever made with this Pinion Smart Shift system in it. Now, typically Lectric focuses around affordable, inexpensive, high quality, fast, compact e-bikes. And on this bike, I think they actually tried to do the exact same thing. Give you a bike that's extremely affordable for everything that comes on it. Now, granted, with the Pinion system, it does increase the bike price quite a bit, but you're getting a big advantage over that standard drivetrain that you get on any other bike. You're going to get the traditional compact design that Lectric is known for. You're going to get the rugged frame, the high quality wheels, the super high powered motor, and a long lasting battery. This little bike is what I call the Miata of e-bikes. With the belt drive that is on the back, it's always going to be ready to go. Never have to worry about oiling the chain. I can take this out in the rain. I don't have to worry about it getting wet, dusty, dirty, muddy. All of the drivetrain is sealed inside that Pinion system, and the belt drive never has to be lubricated and never has to be cleaned. Now, one thing with the Pinion Smart Shift system is they do recommend that you do yearly oil changes or based off of a number of miles. The oil change setup on this is extremely easy, and Pinion has very good instructions on their website on how to do this. It simply involves 2 syringes and a little bit of oil that they suggest to use, and you basically push the oil out and then put in some new oil. Now, my friends over at Lectric sent this Lectric ONE over to me to be able to test out and review. So let's go ahead and go over some of the specs that come on this awesome little e-bike. The Lectric ONE is currently selling for $2,199, which in comparison to other bikes that have a smart shift system in it, this is a bargain. Now on this bike, you will get a Gates carbon belt drive. Included on this bike is what Lectric calls the Stealth M24 motor. This is a 750 watt rear hub motor, giving this bike a ton of power. Now this does come with hydraulic brakes, both front and back, and they're actually pretty massive considering the size of this bike. 180 mil rotors with 2 piston hydraulic brakes. This thing can stop on a dime. You're gonna get a full color LCD display, also a brake activated taillight. So whenever you're riding through the city, you're gonna have all the lights that you need to make sure that you're fully safe, including a front headlight that's mounted to the front fender. Now the tires on this are pretty beefy for the size of this bike also. They're 2.25 inch wide tires on 20 inch rims, giving it a super compact design, but making it also really grippy, especially if you're riding this in not optimal conditions. These tires should give you plenty of grip, not to mention they have a nice reflective ribbon around the outside of them, so even from the side, traffic can see you coming and going. Now the total weight of this bike actually comes in fairly light for a bike of this size and for e-bikes in general. You're looking at about 55 pounds. Now there are several accessories that Lectric also sells for this, like for instance, the bag that I've got in the middle of the bike here. That is gonna be an additional accessory, but I love this one because it's easy access. I can store all kinds of stuff in there, like my wallet, my keys, but also you can get a front and rear basket for it. I personally have the rear basket on it, and I think this works really good for running small errands around town. Now it does also come with a rear rack and some metal fenders. Really nice add-ons whenever you're talking about a commuter bike. You do get this foldable handlebar stem combo that is all completely toolless to even adjust on the fly. Now the max weight that you can store on the Lectric ONE is 330 pounds. Now Lectric recommends this bike for somebody who is 5'2" to 6'4". I'm 5'11" and I still feel like I have room to grow on this bike. So if I was a little bit shorter or I was a little bit taller, I think this bike would fit me perfectly, but at 5'11", I feel super comfortable on it. Now, this bike will come as a Class 2 or a Class 3 e-bike. I currently have it set up to be a Class 3 e-bike, and let me tell you, this bike absolutely zips around town, hitting that 28 miles an hour with absolute ease. I can run those errands and not have to worry about running out of battery because it has a long range 14 amp hour battery. Now, if I run this in a lower mode, I can get upwards of 60 miles on it. But with my standard riding style at full blast running errands, I'm seeing around 20 to 25 miles. So there you go, guys. That's the Lectric ONE with the Pinion Smart Shift system. What do you guys think of this bike, and what do you think of this Pinion Smart Shift system? Do you think that this is the future of bike drivetrains? Because I personally think we're gonna start seeing this on a lot more bikes out there. Having a system that's completely enclosed, you don't have to worry about getting hit on roots and rocks, you don't have to worry about dirt and grime getting in it. And if they can make these lighter and lighter, they're gonna compete even more with those big brands out there that are making the old school technology that we've been using for 100 years. All right, guys, if you want to pick up your own Lectric ONE, the best valued Pinion bike on the market, I'm going to put some links down below. If you decide to buy one and you use those links, I would greatly appreciate it. They are affiliated with Lectric, and they do come back and help out this channel. I greatly appreciate it, and it's no additional cost to you. All right, guys, as always, get out there and ride your bike.